What's good, YouTube and Twitch, and welcome to the house. We're live to both right now with a tipsy market watch, looking at everything that has happened from the UDS, starting out with the winner, Ping. Congratulations. And people are reminded that Striker Dragon is an ultra that is shorted out of Chaos Impact, and it is rapidly rising in price right now, back towards almost its pre-sale pricing. There's only a couple of listings before it's back there. This is a crazy enabler. It's an awesome card, but it is an ultra rare out of Chaos Impact, shorted similar to Masquerena. So if you're interested at all, either dodge the hype and the wait or get in now. It's really one or the other, depending on how you feel about it. Any card that is aiding a structure deck strategy where it's readily available to many duelists will usually get swiped off market, and I was surprised this actually wasn't sooner. Speaking of that deck, Seyfert is being talked about by a lot of people, but it hasn't skyrocketed in price yet. It's hanging around 30. It also is shorted as a secret rare. It's in many different Guard Dragon combo decks, and I think those will get actually better under the new Master Rule, as you usually like to Synchro Summon, you like to use Destrudo, that will go different places under the new Master Rule, and I do like where it could potentially head with its upward ceiling. I don't think this will be reprinted anytime soon, at least not before the WCQ. This is definitely something you want sooner than later, despite its price point. This is ridiculous to me. So, we talked about Damage Juggler being one of the best sends for Construct when you should Dull Fusion and are able to use resources from deck, because this gives you rank 4 access. It gets even better under the next Master Rule. Really, the original and the Mega Packs up above $3. I have literally 500 of these sitting somewhere in my house. I could crash the market personally. You know, tons of different vendors are. This will float back down to $2 to $1. Obviously, people want to make the most money they can. You see how many people have 10 listed here? Yeah, this is definitely going to go down in price as people compete and people don't value them. I would probably just be like, hey, you guys want to buy this for $1? Like, that's probably what I would be doing with my copies. And there's definitely going to be other people with massive amount of copies that they can't even move. They're too lazy to, like, they're gonna just undercut everybody and try to get rid of them. Evenly Matched was heavily used in the UDS, past the point I thought. We saw Scott Page main several in his deck. Like, this is an amazing card. It's really good for dealing with boards. It's played in so many different things, against so many different things, and I hope it gets reprinted in the March set. I hope Konami goes, that reprint was so good, let's do it again, like they always do. There's no guarantee of that, and people are eating up every single version back over the price of 30, which was its last buyout price, so this can be considered a rewave on the buyout. Quantities are not going to show up in mass. You're kind of stuck paying the price unless you're waiting and hoping for the reprint. Invocation on every single form. People keep telling me to refresh this, I'll refresh it again. It's changing rapidly. Consider the versions you're getting. Europrint of Fusion Enforcers, warped like tacos, similar to Rate, similar to Duelist Saga over there. It has issues. I wouldn't personally buy the mid-rarity online. I would only buy them in person and heavily check them out. Anything out of Fusion Enforcers. Now, the ultimate rare version of Invocation is by far the highest, because people know you go highest or lowest. You typically don't go mid anyways. This stretching over $30 is very shocking and surprising to me, but at the same time, it improves under the Master Rule. It mixes well with Shadows. Invoke Dulls are what's going to be good, and even moving forward, it only gets better unless a ban list smites it, which Konami's not going to do that so short after releasing the structure. It's going to be a couple of formats, in my opinion. Now, Invoked Raijin, Makaba, everything feels like it's rising right now. We saw the buyout on Caliga last Market Watch. Everything just continues to go up for the fusions that only have one printing. I would still try to buy in person, but if it's not available, you're very low on options. In Raijin, also an amazing instant fusion target as a warrior for Isolde combos. All Mirage getting bought out. There were some $25 when I was loading my tabs for this Market Watch, and stream bought them out. Go figure. Hopefully you used my TCG player link in the description down below, costing you nothing extra and supporting the channel directly for the cards you were already going to buy out from other people. Core TCG was a hero we needed. They had 6 copies at $25. They're gone. Now we see they're 30 and 40. This just shows when you are a Yu-Gi tuber, you have thousands of eyes on certain cards. People are going to take your advice sometimes and go for them. All Mirage, you want this in Invoked. You also have a Cyverse type to go into Security Guard. It does so much for so many different decks. Really great card. Mech Knights. This is weird to me that Purple Nightfall got a buyout here because it didn't really overperform at the UDS. And we see blue only going up $1 versus it when you're going to play both anytime. So I guess get your blues right now. But if you believe in this engine, like, you probably already had it past its multiple times of buyouts. Alistar, the Invoker of Madness. Somebody over in the EU let me know it shot up. Well, same over here. 35 freaking dollars. I was singing this card's praises for a very long time, telling you to get it at $8 to $10. If you did, you were already safe. If not, and you're looking at the deck, well, it was good with generic fusion summoning behind it, so it's a great mix for the Shadow version of the deck with it, and you go ahead and start getting your deck out there, and again, only better under the new Master Rule, even having to make it like you can, you know, link into it, get your Shadow fusion like stuff back, get to use it, like it's pretty crazy. Retaliating C was a tech, I believe, used by Carl, if I was told correctly, and the OTS version of it is up. There are budget versions still, but the holographic variant of it is up. It reads, during either player's turn when the opponent activates a spell card that would include the effect of special summoning a monster, so throwbacks to Shadow format, you can special summon this card from your hand if summoned this way while it's on the field. Any card sent to the graveyard is banished instead. So basically, just like eradicating certain effects like Shadow Fusion being Omega Plus, but Wenda is still a heck of a card to bring out against opponents, so do be aware of that. Blackluster Soldier of Chaos, a staple-ish card, headed towards 80. I didn't know TCG Player has this thing where new listers don't even affect the price, so you might want to click on listing sometime to see when this happens. But it's towards $80 here. There's only one seller similarly on eBay under the $80 price at $74 before it is $80+ as well. People are really eating up their staples that they have confidence that won't be reprinted this format. Who knows when Konami will drop reprints where, but if it's a Battles of Legend reprint, it's looking like it's after the WCQ, because the Japan version of Battles of Legend I think drops like June 6th. There's almost no way we get it before the NA-WCQ, but you guys in the EU may get a price coolant again before your WCQ, as you're after us. Harpy Queen Ultimate Rare is up. That's kind of an odd one. None of the other versions really moving. Tons of prices on them. I might suggest the Ultra Rare, but we know mid-rarity rarely does very well, but I could see this being $5-ish. But when I look over here at Harpy Queen, Lost Art for Wham and Win, it is up if we click and look down. Even the unlims are towards $50, and gosh, if you're looking for a first edition that's near mint, you're going to keep going through these pages, and find that you're paying 85 freaking dollars. People are looking at stuff like Adamantia and saying, well, generic typing stuff that works well with what's already there might go up. We saw Black Dragon happen. There's also good, that Harpy Trap that's really good. This Feather Storm, I believe, it is something I would have as a penny stock, so we see versions of this going up, just people preparing with the best certain decks of typing that they think might mix in with other things, I guess. Gravity Collapse is a buyout because of the stream. The stream told me about this card, I read it, my player brain says it's good, any deck using a Destrudo can abuse this, and we see other people agree it's a very good card. There's plenty of listers that were ready for this. I'm surprised they're actually listing towards $6 though, because like, holding the line, they could have gone towards 10 or something. It's an STBL rare. So they're actually not being very greedy with this buyout at all, and I think it's an amazing card that can end full deck's turns. But remember, Lightning Storm is a card. Control decks are a thing that actually like their back rows. This won't always pan out for you, and people can go battle phase into battle phase evenly matched, and this won't help you at all because it's only against monster summons. But it can affect the normal summon, which is very big for Yu-Gi-Oh! Cyber Emergency is at $35 with only one lister before it's 40 and then 42. I could see this getting reprinted somewhere down the line. We saw Cyber Dragon support last March reprint set, and Battles of Legend, like stuff is up for reprint. We saw the Living Fossil in the Shadow Structure deck. So we know Battles of Legend stuff is available for reprint almost anywhere. I wonder where they'll try to cash out Konami on Cyber Emergency. Speaking of structure decks that have nice things, we look through this, and there's that Living Fossil. There's a lot of penny stocks, but leading the way are actually the reprints. Super Poly and Allure, I think these are actually cheap for what they are, and that's why there's so few listings for a new structure deck. Super Poly could easily be a $5 card again. Same with Allure. Almost every single incarnation of Allure of Darkness heads towards $5 over time. I don't think this is going to be the nail in the coffin for the price, even though so many of these will be ripped open. Allure's just that generic draw card for the best typing Dark in the game. That's why Super Poly's so good. It's good against Dark. It's the best against Dark. This is the best draw card for Dark typing for the most part. So, well, there's Extravagance, John. Yeah, that's $100. And then Twin Twisters at $1. This will probably be $2 to $2.50 in the future. BLS, I think, could settle around the $1 despite people being able to play 3, but could go up over time because people want copies for goats and other things. There's a lot of ways to play the penny stocks in this deck that can go up over time. Lava Golem's going to get another reprint in Speed Duel, so I don't see that as the strongest penny stock, but definitely things in here that people will be looking for later, Instant Fusion included. There's a lot of ways to go. I really like the structure deck. If you find it in person, it is worth the value of those $10. Nefshadal Fusion is in the structure, but the hollowed out versions are spiking in price as well. People scrambling for things that can change typing and let you go into other fusions makes a little bit of sense. I wanted to talk a little bit more about the Dinosaur Structure decks and my opinions with where this could go. At the release date of May 31st, that gives all of April and all of May to play out for it. We don't know the reprints in the March set that Konami is going to release for Dinosaurs that they've announced, along with Madolches and Witchcrafters. I understand Witchcrafters are going up despite the reprint announcement. So when I look at the Dinosaur decks, it had a short pre-order window. Maybe Overraptor and Lost World could still appear in those structure decks, and that's why the pre-order window was so short. But vendors could play games with those prices, as that's very close to the NAWCQ, and if they're not in the March set, you could see some quick buyouts and some people trying to make cash somewhat quickly before these do reappear. So be aware of that. Make sure you get them from a source where you're going to be able to grab them for the NAWCQ. If you're hopping on this deck, it gets better under the new Master Rule. I definitely like it a lot. And the final card is Bottomless Trap Hole CP04. I was going through a lot of the buyouts on the OG cards, and I noticed this is lower than when it was part of the metagame, which is very unusual for a card to have aged like this. We see copies at 75 to 80 available on market, and I'm wondering how this happened through history. I get it's not a GOAT card like Book of Moon, but back in the day, this and Book were the two chase cards, and now this has fallen out. Let me know why you think in the collector's market, despite, trap tricks being a thing, obviously there's not too much hype there, there's better trap holes. Like, why do you think this never climbed up through Yu-Gi-Oh! History despite being up there with Book of Moon back in the day? Let me know in the comment section down below. I'd be truly interested to hear your take. I feel like this could be 125 to 150 any day, and like it's heavily overlooked mayhaps, but good stuff for collectors right here if you are coming back to Yu-Gi-Oh! And looking for a piece of the past. That being said, thanks for watching today's Market Watch. Anyone in open chat have anything to add here? Nobody?
Well,
I'm alone.
I will say to just make sure if you're getting the invoke stuff, make sure you're adding on that secure Gardner so you're not paying $1 instead of like 7 cents.
And if you're doing that, use my TCG player link in the description down below, costing you nothing extra and supporting the channel directly. Smile. Alright guys, we're gonna head out. We're going to Twitch only if you're on YouTube. Thanks for joining the video if you're watching this on YouTube later recorded, but I may still be streaming on Twitch, so check out Zodiac Duelist TV in the description down below if you want to join the wild after party for the UDS.